Hello and welcome to the first ever HLRA podcast. A podcast brought to you from in the back of Land Rover for Land Rover owners. I'm Harry Graham.
And I'm Lucas Heathby.
And we're doing a monthly podcast all about Land Rovers and Land Rover related products. So then, let's get cracking. We can start with you, Lucas. What Land Rover related things have you been on with?
Well, we went to Twisted a couple of Fridays ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And we'd had a look round, had something to drink.
Yeah, bought some stickers.
Yeah,
pens. Yeah, good crack there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
People there really nice, like always.
Yeah, always nice people down there.
Can't get much better, can it?
Yeah, exactly. Based in Thirsk. Can't go wrong, really, can you?
No.
5 minutes drive away. And then I broke my arm last weekend over at a bike park in Ripon. And then I've been painting the Land Rover doors as well, in marine blue. And then also went on to the Land Rover Spares Day in the 2nd of March. Just bought some magazines for a £5. And then also went round to Twisted, as Lucas said, for a cup of tea. And then went round to Knaresborough Young Farmers Club tractor run last weekend. So yeah, it's been a good month so far. And then another part of this podcast is our favourite product of the month. My favourite product is this Land Rover cup. You will see it on the screen now. It's part of a Ronaldo collection for mugs. You can see it's well made, very strong and durable. And I've owned this one for 5 months and I've used it every day for my cups of tea. It's a £7.94 from Amazon, and it's a lot cheaper from elsewhere. And yeah, this is why it's my favourite product of the month. I'm using it now for my cup of tea whilst we're filming this podcast. So then, Lucas, what's your favourite product of the month?
I would say my favourite product of the month is the one of Twisted's pens.
Alright, yeah.
£6.50 from the Twisted Automotive website. Very nice to write with, very durable, very handy as well.
Yeah, they are good pens.
Yeah, nice metal feel to them.
Mm.
They're not plastic. It's good material.
Yeah, and Yorkshire made as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Really good.
Yeah. Now, this is my sort of part, the Land Rover events and news. So on April the 6th, it's the Land Rover Auto Jumble at the Newbury Showground in Worcestershire, organised by Land Rover Monthly. April 25th is a Heritage Transport Show at Kent Showground in Delting, Maidstone. April 26th, the Dunsford Collection Spring Open Day in Surrey. Now, the Dunsford Collection is the biggest collection of rare and unique Land Rovers. There's a lot of smart kit round there. And then May 2nd until the 5th is the Land Rover Global Gathering in Market Harborough at the showground there in Leicestershire. Sounds as if it might be quite a good day out because I've seen a few videos of it on YouTube and it does look good.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So Lucas, now it's time for this month's listener question.
So, the listener's question of the month is what do you think is the best, a series or a Defender? And put your answer in the comment section below.
Yeah, and then next month we can read out all of your answers because we will have a guest on next month. And then another section of this podcast is for listeners' landies. I'll put some pictures on the screen of this month's one. It's owned by FB Taylors, and basically this is a section where the listeners send in their Land Rovers. So this month's listeners' landy is FB Taylor Cable Contractors 2014 2.4 Puma 110 utility. It's used to put in winches and trailers. It's a very nice 110, and I actually use it to pick up my Land Rover that we're filming in now. She's a good old workhorse, but the transfer box is actually blown up. So she's in at the garage, but we haven't started work on it since Christmas. So God knows when it will actually be finished, but it's a very nice piece of kit. Owned since new in 2014. And then, if you want to be part in the next month's Listeners Landies, please can you put a comment in the comment section below. We need facts, the year, some modifications that you've done to it if you have, and anything else that you want to mention. Then post a video and tag Harry's Land Rover Adventures into your video. We will then choose the best. Now, this month we sort of have 2 Listeners Landies because it's just an introduction to the podcast. So this month's second one is also Isaac Chapman's Freelander 2 from 2008. It's a grey one. He uses it on the farm for all sorts of farm work, pulling trailers, pulling cows around, for a lot really. And yeah, he uses it. It's his granddad's car, but Isaac has submitted it in for us to talk about. There are some pictures on the screen, but we only have 2 pictures, unfortunately. So then, Lucas, time for the joke section.
So we're also having a joke section in this podcast. So here's the joke. What does a Land Rover and the Titanic have in common?
I don't know.
They both have the same turning circle and are just as waterproof. Here's another one. Did you know that 70% of Land Rovers are still on the road? The other 30% made it home.
Oh no. I also have one. Why did they use Land Rovers in the Camel Trophy?
I don't know, why did they?
To make it as difficult for the contestants as possible. Now, we have some listeners' questions, a lot of listeners' questions. These have all came from TikTok in the comment section because I posted a few videos of it on there. So, Harry's Land Rover Adventures on TikTok as well, if you want to go and follow that. So, George Millington says, "Hi guys, I'm wondering if Land Rovers are easy to restore, and if so, which one?" Well, they are the easiest thing to be using. They're just like a big Meccano set. It all bolts up fine. And I would say the best one to restore has to be any other series of any sort, because they're easy to take apart and rebuild, and there's no ECUs, no nothing, and they're the best car to learn on to be a mechanic. George also asks, what is the hardest part of restoring the Series 3? I think it has to be the 200 TDI conversion. It wasn't hard, but it's the most rewarding part of the build so far, because it bolted in, but you also had to change a few bits to it, like the intercooler, which that was hard because the old owner of my Land Rover had welded back up on the front panel, but to wrong size. So basically the whole front panel is facing inwards on the bottom, so it's not the same length. So it was getting the intercooler to fit. But yeah, that's it. And we also have another question from Seth Carver, and he asks, what is our opinion on the Grenadiers? The Grenadiers are obviously made by Sir Jim Ratcliffe as part of the Ineos group. They're made over in Germany. They have BMW engines. They're not really liked by many people because they're just quite unreliable. But I don't actually mind them too bad, because I think they're actually quite smart, and they were made in memory of the old Defender, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe didn't like the new ones, because if I'm honest with you, they aren't a Defender, the new ones are a Pretender, if I'm honest with you. So I think good on him for actually thinking I can do this. And he named them after the pub where he thought of the idea from, which are quite well known for that fact. And then Drift_Hammer on TikTok asks, what does the HLRA stand for? I'm a bit confused. What is this about? So, HLRA stands for Harry's Land Rover Adventures, and it's basically, this podcast is just mates in the back of a Land Rover talking about the news, talking about favourite products, for a lot really. And then Joey Paskins asks, what is my dream Land Rover Defender or series, or haven't got any favourites? I think the favourite Land Rover has to be a custom one. So the Twisted Lightweight, I'll put a photo in of it now, has to be up there with one of the best Land Rovers made. Really nice. Just made like a series, really. Just by brand new Defenders, but like in 2016 and 14 when it was all being made, the last off the line, and just put series doors on them, soft top, in the back of them was all just Raptor coated, and then electric cars as shit. 0305 asks favourite landy and why. Have you got a favourite, Lucas?
Depends. If it's a series, I'd probably say Series 3.
Yep.
A Defender, I'd probably say a Defender 110.
Yeah. Oh, I was meant to say the Twisted Lightweight edition is 90 as well. So yeah, so that's them 2 questions all done. KJM asks, what is my favourite landy model and engine? So if you're going with a standard Land Rover, Series 3, but it has to have a 200 TDI or a 300 TDI in. The Rover V8s, I think they're 3.5 litre. They're good, but just bad on petrol. And the original Land Rover engines in the Series 3, I only have experience with the diesel engines, but the diesel was underpowered like hell. So, but I don't know about the petrols because I haven't driven one, but that's what I'm saying. What do you think, Lucas?
Well, I think a 200 TDI is a decent engine. It's not the most powerful and it's not the least. It's a very reliable engine.
Yeah, definitely.
Good choice to have.
Yeah.
As, just a standard decent engine.
Yeah.
It can do what you need to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And then Tractor Boy, who might be on the podcast next month as a guest, says our dream landy. Yeah, I've said that. Twisted Defender 90 lightweight edition. And what's yours favourite?
I'd probably say a Defender 110 Bahama Gold.
Twisted or?
Twisted,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because they can, do the slight bits other people can't do.
Yeah.
And make it look incredibly.
The twisted wheels are nice and all. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then Joey Paskins says, have I got any other Land Rovers? And if so, am I planning to get any more? I haven't got any other Land Rovers, but it was a 110 with a Arthur Williams trailer just driving past field.
Yeah.
And there's also a broken down Disco 4 as well on the A19.
A bucket trailer.
Yeah. But yeah, so I haven't got any other Land Rovers. And I do plan on getting another, but not for me. My brother fancies buying a Series 3, or I'm not actually too sure, or a 90. But I wouldn't mind buying a Disco 1 300 TDI because my dad used to have one, and his one recently got scrapped. So I would fancy buying one for him. So in all fairness, like just as a present, really. But that's it really. Have you got a plan? What you?
Not as of yet. Things could change in the future.
Yeah.
Definitely got. Things that could do.
Oh, it was a 90 driving
flying
past.
down.
Yeah, in green.
Yeah.
Oh, talking about Defenders, we've just had a man from Bradford in a 110 station wagon county just turn up and picked up a Series 2 axle, a front axle. Nice guy.
Really nice piece of kit.
Yeah,
as well
it was nice.
On the 110.
Yeah, he had 3 Wolf wheels, and then he had a spare on the other side as a Disco 1 wheel. But yeah, it was a nice piece of kit in green.
So now we're going to be talking about something that I've been doing in my spare time. I've been building a Land Rover Series 3 long wheelbase model. It's a model you can get from a little craft shop. It's called Hobbycraft. You can find them all over.
There's one in York.
Yeah, and can't remember what the other place is called, but there's
What, in Middlesbrough?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Middlesbrough. There's loads everywhere.
Basically, in any big shopping centre, there's most likely to be on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They're dotted around all over the place.
It's also online as well. Yeah, so how's it gone with making the model then?
Well, at the minute it's fully finished.
Yeah.
I finished it a couple of weeks ago.
It would have been quite smart if you were brought in. We could have it on the desk.
Definitely.
We can do that next time.
Yeah. And maybe we could bring another one that I'm going to start doing next time. If
Alright.
it's finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Series 3. It's got it's in marine blue.
But isn't it like the dark marine blue
it's
version?
the darker version of it, not the lighter.
Yeah, like it's the actual like proper like sea like blue.
Yeah.
Like for the navy.
Yeah, it's got its white roof like most do.
Yeah, it's silver rims and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there will be pictures on the screen of it now.
And it's got a silver grille, and yeah.
Yeah, how long has it taken you to make it?
It took me about maybe 2 weeks maximum to do it. It wasn't the longest, and it's definitely not the shortest.
And out of 10, how hard was it to make?
Depends on where you start from. If it was your first model, definitely wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
You'd want to start with maybe a slightly cheaper one.
Yeah, like a 124 scale.
Yeah.
Or is that one 124?
This is 124.
Oh, is it? Alright. Oh, is it 143 scale?
Yeah,
then?
143.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because
you can find them from like I don't know, like little shops. B&M do them.
yeah.
They're maybe about £5 if you wanted to do.
Because
if you wanted to start like from a little starter one, which is where I started off.
Yeah, because there's Airfix have done a little 143 scale Series 1 107. So I think they're like £12, aren't they?
Yeah, about they range from 5 to 12.
Yeah.
Depending on the things.
Yeah. So yeah, that's models done then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, what we want to know is if any of you fancy sponsoring the podcast. Because we just sort of need someone to sponsor it. So if you have any companies who are interested, just let us know. Like if you work there or if you're boss of a company, like Land Rover related, preferably but
anything will do.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor, you can sponsor.
And it would help us a lot more.
Yeah.
And we would genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah. Alright, I reckon if we now maybe talk about some trips, because there's loads of good trips in the UK for Land Rovers and green lanes and all. So, Lucas, if you had your dream Land Rover and could go anywhere in the UK, where would you go?
I'd say Scotland.
Definitely, in the Highlands.
Yeah.
West Coast or East Coast.
I'm not sure,
or
to
north.
be fair. I'd like preferably hilly areas.
Yeah.
Like really like.
Yeah, so in the West
Summer.
Coast then. Summer, yeah.
Definitely like, especially if you've got like if you haven't got a back cab, you've just got like a soft top.
Yeah, soft top. Roll sides up, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that out. Lovely days out through Scotland, through the Highlands and everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, really nice summer weather.
I've been up Apple Cross, also called Beletna Bar, I think, over in the west coast of Scotland, and that road was best road I've ever been on. Lovely. I'll see if I have any footage. I have some pictures, but I'll see if there's any videos of anyone going up it, because it's just such a nice road. But yeah, I would say where I would go. Dreamland. Well, I'm going my Land Rover because it's mine, and I would go up in the Highlands. I'd do some of the Outer Hebrides. I would go over to the Isle of Arran, where I'm off to in May, and you just can't beat it over there. It's bloody lovely. So that is where I would go if I had a Land Rover anywhere in the UK, and like a local area to us is Yorkshire Dales. And you can't beat the Yorkshire Dales for just a little day out.
Lovely colours around there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, first thing you're in like Hawes, next thing you're up on moors and going dropping down into villages like Muka. Lovely, can't beat that. So yeah, that is what I would do. So then, any other questions for for listeners or for me, or any questions?
I haven't got any questions myself, but you know, if you guys have, you know, put definitely down in the comments, and we can read them the next time we do another podcast, which, you know, might be next month.
Yeah. And like, thing is, this podcast hasn't been as long as what it will be normally, because we're just sort of just giving you an introduction to it. So please can you put in the comments if you have enjoyed it. Now, the last part of the podcast is a Land Rover book review.
And this is where we look through some of Harry's Land Rover Adventures book collections, and we read you some parts of it. Then we will rate the book out of 10.
Yeah. So let's start off the HLRA podcast off with Land Rover Series 1, 2, 2A and 3 Sales Brochures and Advertising by James Taylor. I've owned this book for a few weeks now, and so far it's definitely the best Land Rover book I have. I'll read some out for you, and I'll then say my opinion. We're just finding page number now. Cheers, Lucas. Right, this is the introduction for it. In the 6.5 decades since its introduction in April 1948, the Land Rover has become a legend. Today, Land Rover relies on that legend to sell its current models, which I have built over the achievements of the original vehicle and now have a very different kind of appeal. In the beginning, the Land Rover was a light commercial vehicle. It wasn't a lifestyle statement, and its makers used all of the familiar tools and advertising and illustrated catalogues to promote its merits to would-be buyers' standards. And I'll find another page. This is an advert all about a Trayback Series 2, but it's called a tabletop for the Australian market. The Land Rover tabletop, for all versatility of four-wheel drive, plus an extra loading area and convenience of a flat top unit. Land Rover has already established a reputation for versatility over in Australia, even under the most exciting conditions. The introduction of a tabletop body model offers the man of the land with loading ease of a flat top truck, combined with all of the advantages of four-wheel drive. Then the military, it's all about them, about Series 1 with bloody machine guns. Yep, and the 110s has also just gone past with that trailer on.
The one that we've just seen a couple minutes ago.
And then there's also a Land Rover Pretender 110 here. Obviously it isn't a real Defender, just a want-to-be sort of thing. But yeah, this book features all sorts of parts. There's bits all about the Santanas, which are made over in Europe somewhere. I can't actually think of where. But if you want this book, it's really interesting. There are some videos of it whilst I'm reading. But yeah, the Land Rover Santana Modelo 109 for Cilinderos, which is obviously in Spanish, I think it was made, which is why it's in foreign language. But there's even like bits about their own lightweight in it, like made by Santana. So yeah, if you want this book, it is, and on the price is somewhere, £35 in the UK. However, I bought this one for £15 over in the Hemsley bookshop. So I'm not sure where to buy them from, if I'm honest with you. Just know where I bought mine from. Like, thing is, this podcast hasn't been as long as what it will be normally, because we're just sort of just giving you an introduction to it. So please can you put in the comments if you have enjoyed it, and it's been a right good fun. Really enjoyed it. So then, all I guess we can say now is thank you for listening and goodbye. We will see you later.